The Vatican is sending 2 of its top sex abuse investigators to Mexico. The world's second largest Catholic country is coming to terms with decades of clergy sex abuse and cover-up. This is not the first time Archbishop Charles Scicluna of Malta and Monsignor Jordi Bertomeu of Spain have teamed up. In 2018, the 2 investigated the Chilean church, which resulted in every active Chilean bishop offering to resign. Their mission to Mexico will begin at the end of the month. Edward Pentin, Rome correspondent for EWTN's National Catholic Register, joins us now. Ed, thanks for joining us. So what more do we know about this mission to Mexico?
Well, this is more of a kind of assistance mission, Tracy, than an investigation. And it's been called for by the bishops of Mexico because of decades of abuse and cover-up that are in the country. But they also want the 2 investigators to come, as they say, to protect the most vulnerable, which obviously the abuse victims are, and they feel that this investigation will do that. But they're also very keen that these 2 bishops, who have a lot of experience in this area, do carry out the task well, and of course give them the kind of feedback that they want.
And what are some of the recent cases that we can expect them to investigate?
Well, we don't know any particular cases, but we do know that 271 cases have been reported over the past 10 years only. And this is the second largest Catholic country in the world. So the potential is for a lot of cases to be uncovered. And that's another reason why these 2 investigators have gone to the country.
When those investigators arrive, what exactly will they do there?
Well, their first meetings are going to be with the bishops who invited them. They're then going to meet religious superiors. And then most of the time they're going to spend meeting victims and abuse survivors. They've been encouraged to come forward with any information of abuse in the past. And there's a statute of limitations going back 10 years. So any of those abuse victims who've been abused over that time are free to come forward. And I think probably over 10 years as well. It'll be very much similar to what happened in Chile in 2018. These 2 investigators went there for the same sort of reasons and uncovered extensive abuse in that country.
And I'd like to move on to some other news. An Italian newspaper is reporting that Pope Francis was tested for the coronavirus due to his being ill. Can you talk about that report and exactly what it says?
Yes, well, the report in Il Messaggero, the Italian newspaper, said that he was tested for the coronavirus. We don't know when, probably over the weekend, and it turned out to be negative. People were concerned because the Pope has been suffering from a cold since Thursday or Friday last week, and some suspected that he may have contracted this virus. He did meet a group of Iranian delegates at the end of January, I think, and that people felt that he may have contracted it from them, but thankfully he hasn't, and so he was given the all clear. But he has cancelled a few events, and he cancelled 2 big audiences over the weekend.
Do you know, are any Vatican events being impacted by the virus?
Yes, we heard today that one of the big events for the Pope this year, the Global Pact on Education, which he's been hoping would take place in May, that's going to be postponed now to October because of the coronavirus, and that people, they think, won't be able to make it to the event. They're expecting many leaders, rather, representatives of civil and political life to come to that. And so they postponed that. There's also been another big event that the Pope wanted to hold at the end of this month, which has been postponed on the economy of Francesco, which is a meeting to really focus on the Pope's vision for the economy, and that's been postponed until November 21st. So there have been a couple of big events which have been postponed, but as in the Vatican itself, it's pretty much carrying on as normal, and that we're still having masses celebrated here, and most of the events seem to be taking place.
All right. Well, Ed, thank you so much for your insight. Always appreciate it. Edward Pentin, Rome correspondent for EWTN's National Catholic Register. Thank you again, Ed.
Thank you, Tracy.